I thought this one was kind of interesting. Algo RWA says Algorand real world asset. Hey, welcome, watch. Thanks for watching. No capital letters. Yeah, that's interesting too. Actually, hold on. Let's go back. That's true. Well, I mean, there's some, but they're not starting with capital letters unless it's a proper noun. Interesting. Very strange. Anyway, glad everyone's here. Let's get to Eldar here. Says make it make sense on every conceivable metric. Algorand is destroying Ethereum, yet Ethereum market cap is 191x of Algo. How long can price in this space stay detached from fundamentals? Well, a pretty long time apparently. Let's see, he was 20 years as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs. Very interesting. Yeah, Eldar's a friend of the channel. We've had him on here before, or well, we've not had him on here, but we've shared his stuff before. Yeah, Algorand much faster, doing more real-time TPS, 20.89 versus 17.46, and it's capable of so much more, which is interesting. And here he says Algorand max TPS is 92x more than Ethereum max TPX. And also, I don't know what Ethereum's actual max is, but I don't trust this metric because Algorand has been clocked at 15,000 TPS, or transactions per second. So that's almost 3 times as much. So it's actually happened. You know, the theoretical maximum is 10,000, but it's actually hit above that. It's hit 15,000, so that's pretty good. Let's see. And then, yeah, like I said, even the theoretical max is incorrect here. In total transactions, not that much more. Which, by the way, this should tell you something. Just think how much Ethereum is earning in fees that it can turn around and give to its miners, which are now proof of stake miners, right? They went away from proof of work, I believe. Like, you would think if with Algorand having so much capacity, it should have way more. That should tell you a lot. Block time is 76.49% less. I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised this number is this low, to be honest. I've had Ethereum transactions take like hours. It's probably this right now, but at peak load, yeah, I bought an NFT on Gala Games, which at the time was operating on EVM rails. They've since switched to their own chain, which was a giant mess in and of itself that I won't recap now, but you can watch my videos on it. I bought the NFT, initiated the transaction, went and ate supper, drove like the 40 minutes to jiu-jitsu where I was going. Now I'm in town. Did an hour and a half class, drove the 40 minutes back, 38 minutes really. Came back, ate a little snack, and then went upstairs to my computer up there, and it just finished as I went up there. That's how long the transaction took. So how many things can you really do if that's how long transactions are taking? Well, not a lot. Well, it's infinite. So Algorand, yeah, we are spoiled with instant finality. Well, we're getting that. Algorand finality is 100% less than Ethereum finality. Really infinite because you just can't get there. Now, I think Bilbao has a very good point here. The strength of the ecosystem is the most fundamental data. That's our biggest weakness. Who would join an empty party? Kind of true. And I'll tell you what, I talked about this, right? I've talked about this before because you need users. Even if you're enterprise focused, those clients care about users. And that's what the Hedera Foundation or the HBAR Foundation said that earlier this year. They said we're pivoting to focus on retail because, you know, our enterprise clients want to see users and they want to see user growth. And Ethereum has first mover advantage. That is huge. It has the most name recognition. If you meet people in the wild, they've undoubtedly heard of Bitcoin, and then a pretty large percentage of them have heard of Ethereum as well. When I tell people about Algorand, it's usually the first time they've heard of it. Bottom line, I mean, that matters. You can pretend that doesn't matter, but it absolutely matters. And I'm not, I'm not trying to go after Eldar here. He's a good follow, and you guys should go follow him. He's got good information. I'm just saying, when you think about fundamentals, well, what do you mean? And also remember Metcalfe's law for valuing a network. Ethereum right now is just bigger. I mean, that's just the facts. And if, we cannot like those facts, but it is what it is. Sarah Jane has a really interesting point here too. I think Ethereum benefits a lot from its L2 ecosystem that solves some of ETH's pain points, costs, scalability, etc. This is another way to keep liquidity. Probably not wrong. It is missing the most important community that drove TVL to US dollar 100 billion and 3,500 protocols. Yeah, that's a lot. You know, because I used to say, like, I didn't understand why anyone would build on ETH when you have something like Algorand where you can do things so much easier and it just works better. Well, that's one of the reasons. It is what it is. Algo inflation is significant and will remain so for another 7 to 8 years. Do some research. Just algo inflation has been significant in the first 5 years. However, it has slowed down. I'm going to tell you, stuff like this, people think this matters. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is look at the number of counterexamples, and you can see how it just doesn't matter that much. People will talk about, oh, well, most of the supply is out. Yeah, it doesn't matter. What's it doing for price? If it mattered, we'd be seeing that, and we're not seeing that. It's just not happening. Meanwhile, you know, SWI was crushing Algorand in price, and it had the same 10 billion total supply, but it had barely any of it out, and it's pumping. Stuff just doesn't affect price the way you think it does. Like, I know it makes sense logically, but it just doesn't work that way. And let's see here. If you are, remember Nano? If you're comparing Nano with Algo, you're out of depth. Below are just some of the RWA on Algorand. What did Nano have apart from hype? Dude, I never paid attention to anything called Nano. I don't even know what it is. Really, WTF has to be manipulation. You guys with the manipulation, who do you think is manipulating what? The problem is people don't care enough to manipulate it. If anything, if Algorand has a problem, it's that not enough people care enough to manipulate the price. Because if they did, we'd have a better price. But you know, it's nice. It's a nice way to pat yourself on the back and comfort yourself. Oh well, you know, it's just the manipulators. That's all. It's not. You know, all the tech metrics you posted matter only if people are using it. Yeah, it's true. For now, ETH and L2s have 100x more developers, 10x more daily active addresses, 50x more DEX volumes, more fees and app revenue. The fees are big too. I mean, I actually do think that Algorand should possibly raise its fees because it's almost too inexpensive. You know, and you find out if you're in business, like there's a curve where you get the maximum number of customers with the most amount of revenue. Because if you raise your prices too high, you cut customers too low. And if you make things too cheap, you don't earn enough from the customers, even if you have more customers. So there's like kind of a sweet spot. I don't think Algorand is in that sweet spot. Snail says, we thought Tiny was dead a few days ago, right? I don't think people understand what's coming. Tiny, yeah, that's interesting. Well, I don't know. You know, one of the things I liked about Tiny is that it was trading between 2.5 and 5 cents. And it seemed pretty consistent. And then when it fell below 2 cents, I got a little concerned, to be honest. Pacino says, and still have no clue why people pay those gas fees. A lot of people just don't know. You have to get it out there. And we'll get to that in the next segment. But I'll say marketing definitely matters. And I think Algorand is starting to do some of those things that they didn't want to do before. He really got a lot of comments on this. ETH sucks. I can't tell you when, but if ever, but ETH sucks. I'll never own it again, and I'll always have Algo, regardless of the price. And you know, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, there's still ways to earn. I'm a big yield guy, so Algorand is great for earning yield. And you know, it's still around, so I think that's the important part. But also, like, altcoins just don't have a lot of demand right now. Snail says if people spent half the time researching algorithms, they'd be brilliant. I wish I understood more about algorithms, to be honest. Doge taught me a valuable lesson years ago. What was that lesson? I have a little bit of Doge. I have a moon bag of Shiba. I'm just waiting the pump to take my little teeny profits from it again. Cloudy Vibe says that they raise the fees and algo price goes up, it won't be the cheaper blockchain to use. I mean, it depends on how much it goes up. I just don't think I think they could go like a little bit more. They could double it easily right now, and it would have almost no effect. Because people have no problem doing, like Avalanche paying like 8 cents for a transaction, and we're like in thousandths of a penny territory, you know? It can go up a little bit. It won't hurt it. They can always bring the fees back down, by the way. If, you know, they can always do that too.